Welcome to Sports Talk, your weekly source for Hazleton area high school football here on WYLN, brought to you by the Lehigh Valley Health Network Hazleton. Fortunately, this is the regular season finale of Sports Talk. I'm your host, Marty Burns, joined as always by Hazleton area head coach Dennis Boatman. We'll talk about Friday night's game against Bethlehem Freedom and so much more as Sports Talk will begin right after this.
Sports Talk is presented in cooperation with Lehigh Valley Health Network, Hazleton.
Getting to the finish line starts with Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute, the region's leader in sports medicine. Our specialists use the most advanced technology for faster, better results, so elite and everyday athletes can compete like champions once again. Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute. Your health deserves a partner.
Your guide to everything Pocono Mountains is PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Tune in and see all the unique places to stay and things to do in the Pocono Mountains. Watch PTN on WYLN.
We moved! We've moved to 703 Airport Road. Blaise Alexander, Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram has moved to our new state-of-the-art location with more room for greater selection and our all-new service and parts department. Come see us at our all-new location, Blaise Alexander, Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, behind Walmart on Airport Road. Taking the deals the other guys won't.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond Contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
Welcome back to Sports Talk, your weekly source for Hazleton area high school football here on WYLN. This is the regular season finale, and as always, it's brought to you by the Lehigh Valley Health Network Hazleton. I'm your host, Marty Burns, joined once again by Hazleton area head football coach Dennis Boatman. And Coach, we knew that it was going to be an uphill battle going down to Bethlehem to take on Freedom on Friday night, and unfortunately the 2022 campaign came to a close for your Cougar football team. Is it almost one of those that you almost wanted to be at full strength just for the simple fact just to see how you would match up?
Certainly. I think anyone at any time during the year, and especially going into the postseason, would love to have all of their guys. That certainly wasn't the case Friday, but as I said, we don't make excuses in our program. The guys who were able to compete on Friday night certainly did that. They never gave in, never gave up, competed from snap to whistle every single play throughout all four quarters. A really good opponent in Bethlehem Freedom for sure. Definitely hurts when you're a team such as us from the offensive standpoint of not having our starting quarterback in Tyler Wolf, and then missing some other pieces as well going into that game, and then losing some pieces during the game. But like I said, our kids, from the perspective of going there to compete, we certainly did that. And, all that has been accomplished, not just this year in winning a district championship for the first time since 2009, but all that's been accomplished the last 3 years is certainly remarkable. This senior group and this team 31, has continued to be able to build on the foundation that we've put in place.
And where the score may mislead people, I know we were talking before we came on the air about halfway through the second quarter. It was still only a 7-0 game, almost you had opportunities and just weren't able to finish them off.
Yeah, I mean, from the perspective, we understood what we needed to do in all three phases. And offensively, we wanted to be able to sustain drives, take time off the clock, be able to continuously get first downs. And then, we wanted to put the game in our defense's hands and be able to put those guys on the field at times and give us a chance of some nice field position and special teams and be able to complement in all three phases, knowing that, possibly all those explosives that we've gotten offensively throughout the year may not be there consistently. But it was a 7-0 game. I believe there was about 6:55 left in the second quarter until Bethlehem Freedom scored again to make it 14. So, we were able to do some things in our game plan early on. It just ended up, they wore us down a little bit, and they had a couple splash plays that before you knew it, you looked up at the clock and it was 21-0 right before the half, and they got that field goal. But even going into half, our rally cry was, hey, it's still a 3-possession game when we held them to a field goal at the end of the first half. And we've been a team that has been really consistent in being able to get 2-point conversions on the year. So 3 possessions for us, we still felt we were in the football game going into that second half. But like I said, Freedom, a very good football team, a team you don't want to go into the game without anyone. And they certainly they earned the victory on Friday night.
And let's get a look at Friday night. We'll get a look at some of the highlights, and we'll start offensively with Matthew Bookman here with a run.
I'll tell you what, he just did an absolutely fantastic job throughout the night. Played quarterback, out of position. First drive here, we're able to take the ball to midfield, another first down. What a remarkable performance by number 1.
And this tackle play is called Z and Q.
Absolutely. You have Xander, you have Kayvon right here. Defensively, we continuously made stops. We just were 1 stop away. Gave up 2 scores on 4th down plays. You see here our kids fighting, competing consistently.
And here, El Presidente with a quarterback pressure and knockdown.
Absolutely. You have Ryan Matthews here, understanding where his leverage needs to be. Forces, once again, a 3rd and long on that possession that Freedom unfortunately converted. And right here again, understanding spacing. There's a 3rd down play here to set up a 4th and 2 here. Great job by Ryan and Matthew Bookman once again.
And here we see Matthew Casadas with a run.
We knew we would have to have some misdirections here and be able to keep them off balance the way that they like to flow to the football and run to the ball. You have a big play there by Matthew Casadas to set us up for another first down that we converted.
And here Ryan Matthews in the pass game.
Absolutely. Being able to understand our RPO game here in the middle of the field. We knew we could attack the middle of the field a lot Friday night, and Ryan Matthews did a great job there once again.
And a pass breakup here for Matthew Casadas.
Matthew Casadas, great job playing through the hands. We actually held Freedom to a field goal on that last possession before the half.
And another run here for Matthew Bookman.
Just a tough run. You see defenders being thrown off him, working his pad level north, and some really good defenders at that, Division I type FBS, FCS defenders.
And here another run for Matthew Casadas.
Once again, Matthew Casadas trusting his blockers up front, sticking his foot in the ground when he has a crease. Another first down here, and as you see, we're able to move the football at times on Friday.
And here Valdez and company.
Big John, you just love everything that he brings, the player that he's become, team defense, a bunch of white hats being able to get to the football.
And here we finish on with Big John, Q, and Pangrazi.
Fitting here that once again we have our defense be able to step up. John Valdez, Kayvon Minor, what players they've become. Alex Pangrazi has really worked himself into the lineup this year based on his offseason. Like I said, just this group here fitting with 3 seniors there, what our senior class means to us. We'll talk about everything that this group has accomplished, and it certainly is remarkable when you look at a group that's won 70+% of their games in the last 3 years, what we've had to overcome from our first year together with COVID and those protocols, right, and just the adversity that goes through every single season, off season, the makeup of that, winning a championship last year, the Wyoming Valley Conference Conference Division I championship, first time since 2008, district championship this year. I mean, just a truly remarkable group, a group that's really tough to say goodbye to. But as I mentioned as well, a group that my grandfather always told me, it's really important to leave a place better than when you arrived. And this group certainly has done that. And this gives this next group now that's coming up a really successful middle school team that finished the season undefeated, a tremendous 9th grade class, and then this JV group of underclassmen that finished the year 7-3 on the year. It gives them something to emulate and be able to look up to, and also now be able to build on.
And it may be too short since the season came to an end, but eventually you and your coaches and your football team will be able to look at another successful 8-win season, another undefeated campaign on the road. And the other thing that I always try to remind fans that say, oh, well, the way it ended, so on and so forth, I'm just going to put up the number 1 to signify that only one 6A team that enters this football tournament is going to end their season with a win, and that'll be the state champion. So, you know, there's a lot of other teams that aren't going to finish their season with a victory, not to take away from what was a successful campaign.
Absolutely. I mean, just the last 2 years, winning 16 games in 2 years, and as I mentioned, winning a conference title last year for the first time since 2008, district title this year. I mean, those are things that you play for realistically here when you're in the state of Pennsylvania, and certainly in Class 6A here. So what these guys have accomplished is absolutely remarkable. And when you look at then, you know, the last 31-year history of our program here, you stack this group up with a lot of other teams and a lot of other classes, and you start looking at what they've accomplished. Besides just a few select groups, there's not many that are more successful than this group here, and there aren't many 3-year periods that are more successful in our 31-year program history.
And I think, and you may not give yourself enough credit, where players and fans need to really focus on, not only was this man successful as a coach, don't forget he played on some of those successful teams that he's talking about in the Cougar past. So.
Sure, and then you have, you know, the coaches that are involved, and some of the coaches that were former players, or some of the coaches that were former coaches, and that's what we're looking to build here. I said from day one, we're not building a team, we're building a program. Yep. And I'll reiterate once again, when you look at the success of our middle school team that's undefeated this year, our freshman program that got better and better throughout the year, we were able to play every single junior varsity game that was allotted this year, and that was with cancellations, where we had to get on the horn immediately after a Friday night game and call everybody and anybody to get a Monday game. We want to make sure our players played, and you don't see that in every program. You'll see some junior varsity teams that play 5 or 6 games maybe on the year. We're truly committed to making sure that everybody is involved, and that goes all the way down then to the youth program. After a Sunday coaches meeting, making sure that I get to multiple youth games on a Sunday to be able to see them play in practices and in the off season. We're truly trying to, you know, build an entire community here that is around our program, and I think we're very successful in doing that the last 3 years.
Now, normally we go to break on our regular season finale and say that we talk about the senior class, but we're not going to do that this week. Partially because we want you fans to stay tuned to WYLN. Even though this is the regular season finale, we are going to have a 1-hour special sports talk that features the 2022 Hazleton Area Cougar senior class. Dates of that show are still to be determined. We're trying to work out the logistics as far as when, where, and when we're going to do the taping. So just stay tuned to WYLN. You'll get plenty of opportunity to see that 1-hour special, but that'll be coming up before the end of the month. We're targeting maybe Thanksgiving week to honor those Cougar seniors. Now, what's coming up next? I'm not really sure, so just stay tuned and we'll be right back.
Sports Talk is presented in cooperation with Lehigh Valley Health Network, Hazleton.
Penn State Hazleton is improving the lives of others, starting in our community.
Providing degrees that meet the needs of the area.
Fueling entrepreneurship and contributing more than $36 million annually to the state's economy.
Researching the health of our local ecosystem on the Susquehanna River.
Together, our impact keeps growing. backed by the strength of 24 campuses and 700,000 alumni.
Struggling to get a good night's sleep? Then look no further. Grand Central is here to help. Grand Central Sealy experts will set you straight. When you buy your mattress at Grand Central, you can expect free delivery and setup, free removal of the old unit, and interest-free financing for up to 60 months. And of course, Grand Central's everyday low prices. Grand Central in Hazleton, helping you make your house a home.
BLB Auto Sales, a division of Barbush Automotive. BLB has deals that can't be beat. They carry trucks, vans, SUVs, sedans, and sports cars, and all at the lowest prices. Barbush Automotive can handle all vehicle repairs since they do it all. Check out their specials: oil change and filter, just $19.95. Alignment, $49.95. Professional and good people. Call 570-454-7571.
Getting to the finish line starts with Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute, the region's leader in sports medicine. Our specialists use the most advanced technology for faster, better results, so elite and everyday athletes can compete like champions once again. Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute. Your health deserves a partner.
Two Italian Guys Pizzeria, 3 West Diamond Avenue in Hazleton has all your favorites, from pizza, hoagies, salads, entrees, wings, and sides. Always made with the freshest ingredients. Call them at 570-459-2783.
Welcome back to the regular season finale of Sports Talk, your weekly source for Hazleton area high school football, here on WYLN, and it's brought to you by the Lehigh Valley Health Network Hazleton. I'm your host, Marty Burns, joined by Hazleton area head football coach Dennis Bookman. And Coach, as we've gone through this season, we've talked about so many aspects of your team, whether we're talking offensively, defensively, special teams. But the one group we didn't talk about, and we'll let you talk about them at this moment, is your coaching staff, and they're the group that you bump ideas off of, and they add their expertise to whatever aspect of the football team. But a very interesting group, but a good group of assistant coaches that you have.
Sure. As we talked about throughout the year in all 3 phases, having the success that we've had, and we've talked about some of those guys individually here. Collectively, that group is absolutely remarkable. Not just the X's and O's and the football aspect of things, even more importantly, the people and how they care about our kids. And from day one, the mindset of putting together a staff was we wanted people around our kids who cared just as much about them as anyone. Right. And this group certainly does. When you go right down the line here of coaches who have been players in the program and now are coaching in the program, such as guys like Scott Sacco, Matt Starrick, Jeff Perkowski. You have guys that have been assistant coaches in this program at various levels, such as Dan Deal and Tom Major. You have somebody like Jim Drumheller, who's been an assistant coach for 30 plus years, has head coaching experience, has been successful in everything that he's done. And then certainly Rick Painter, who was on the staff prior to with Coach Brennan and stayed afterwards even as well. Someone who's from out of the area, completely loves Hazleton, our players, the community. You look through that entire group there, and I mean, just a fantastic bunch. Our players, when we talk about this senior class and the senior group and our team overall, we continue continued to get better and better throughout all 3 years. It's really hard to win football games. Said it from day one.
Yeah.
It's even harder to win football games on the road. And you look here, and I think one of the most impressive things that has been accomplished by this group, and there are many, is being 5-0 on the road in the regular season back-to-back years. It's absolutely remarkable when you think about that. And 12-2 overall in 3 years. Then you start looking at what this coaching staff has been able to accomplish with our players in this program, of being undefeated 3 years now against teams like Berwick, never losing to Valley West, having a winning record against Dallas, being undefeated against Pittston. I mean, you look at all of these things that have transpired in the last 3 years, and you talk about a lot of long time ago's or never befores in terms of accomplishments, and that certainly can't be accomplished if you don't have the players and their buy-in and the correct staff to be able to implement the vision and plan that you have set forth. So, you know, just a tremendous group in terms of our coaching staff, have allowed our players to continue to grow as young men. Our number one goal is to allow players to enter our program at whatever grade they do, 7th through 11th grade, and then leave our program as seniors, as young men. And this 18-group senior class, I certainly am excited for what they will accomplish in the future, because it's just high character, high ceiling young men here that truly are going to be great in everything and anything that they put their mind to, whether that's being successful in terms of after high school in whatever field they choose to go into, collegiately, into the workforce, trade school, whatever that case may be, and then growing as young men in terms of leading their families as they get older and starting a family. And it's just it's a really exciting group. I feel our community has a lot to be proud of with this group. We talk about, too, a group that does things the right way, and that's a direct reflection of the coaching staff that we have in place as well.
And to get back to the point, and you've made this several times, where you found coaches that had played the game. You know, they may not remember maybe Coach Dealin and Coach Drummy playing for Hazelton High School, but you know, my back started to hurt because I started remembering that a lot of these guys like Coach Perkowski and Coach Sacco and Coach Starrick, I remember seeing them play as well. But that the players know that they've been through this before and they pass on the knowledge to them.
Sure, you know, something that is constantly a calling card there is you know, being able to have that experience, and we talk about with all of our coaches, you know, being able to have that experience of being through it before, in terms of the highs and lows and everything in between. So certainly that's something for our players to look to and be able to you know, have that comfort system, you know, and certainly somebody who's a big comfort system for me as well, and I, you know, wanted to say individually as well, is someone who was also on our staff, my dad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, somebody who helped out with our junior varsity program, somebody who has coached at the younger levels before as well, in the junior high and the freshman levels. You know, somebody that is a comfort system for me and, you know, my brother and the other players here too. So when you have familiar people around you that you trust, because in this thing here, in my opinion, loyalty is the biggest thing. You have to have a loyal group that stays committed. And when we talked about the 3 pillars that our program was going to be built on, trust, love, and commitment. That's the only way you're going to have the success that we've had in the last 3 years, is if you have people that are trustworthy, trust each other. You have that level of then the love that you need, because this sport here, it's an emotional sport. And then that 3rd pillar in terms of commitment, this is a sport now that it takes everything in terms of being able to be prepared each and every year. And what's unique about the game of football more than any other sport is there's other sports where you'll play 4 or 5 games in a week.
Yeah.
Football, you play 1. The preparation, the mental aspect is just as important as the physical aspect, and certainly having the proper support system around, the proper coaches, and then the proper players to buy into that, it's absolutely paramount, and we've had that throughout the first 3 years in our program.
We will be back to wrap up the regular season finale of Sports Talk. What we'll talk about, not quite sure, but we'll figure it out in the break.
Sports Talk is presented in cooperation with Lehigh Valley Health Network, Hazleton.
Memberships are available at the Valley Country Club in Sugarloaf. The new upgrades will leave you with a distinctive and unique experience unlike any other venue in Northeast PA. Call Frank Gradis 570-233-5328. Email vccpro@thevalleycountryclub.com.
This is your home, your car, and you want to give them the protection they deserve. With home and auto insurance.
In Hazleton, talk to State Farm agent Pete Keselika.
Third Base Luncheonette, still making memories after all these years.
Getting to the finish line starts with Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute, the region's leader in sports medicine. Our specialists use the most advanced technology for faster, better results, so elite and everyday athletes can compete like champions once again. Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute. Your health deserves a partner.
This is your home, your car, and you want to give them the protection they deserve. With home and auto insurance.
In Hazleton, talk to State Farm agent Pete Keselika.
Welcome back to Sports Talk. We got about 3 minutes left in the regular season finale. And Coach, look ahead to 2023. You got a lot of underclassmen that saw some significant time. Key contributors, the names like Xander Coleman, Brady Mazenko. Talk about Anderson, Boris, King. And then some other guys that got some time that worked a lot on the practice squad. Carlos Gonzalez we saw get some time, and Hunter Johnson. So I think the future is still bright for this Cougar football team.
Absolutely. A lot of guys that you named there either started or were valuable depth rotational guys throughout the year and only got better and better. Some of those guys would have been even more influential players if we had them throughout the season. Some of those guys we didn't have consistently. So a great group there in terms of those who got varsity time. Then our junior varsity group, as you said, with Carlos Gonzalez, J.C. Peralta, Hunter Johnson, guys who just continue to get better and better throughout the season. And it goes all the way down. We talk about it at our middle school level. With Coach Manfredi, Coach Matz, and Coach Chickalise there, what they've done with that middle school group this year. A great season, undefeated season. Coach Wenner, Coach Mike Sterick on the freshman group there continue to get better and better throughout the year. And you have our middle school, our freshman, and our junior varsity group now excited to be able to move up the ladder here, so to speak, right, along with those guys who played true varsity minutes this past year and varsity snaps. So it's a great blend here. It's exciting. We wanted to build a program. We're doing that right now in terms of having guys be able to move through this system. Even this year in our varsity group here, some of those seniors that we talk about, we're only one-year starters. Mm-hmm. So, you talk about, guys having to wait their turn in terms of being part of the program and developing in the program. We had a center this year, Michael Ward. This was his first year starting and really playing. Answered the call, looked forward to it, relished the opportunity of getting better in the rotation last year as a junior varsity player, as a sophomore. And we have some other guys like that too. So, to me, that's the mark of good coaching, great group of kids, and a great program.
Well, Coach, thanks once again for bringing us on this ride of what was 2022.
Thank you so much. Go Cougars.
So for Coach Boogman, I'm Marty Burns saying so long. Thank you so much to our fine production crew. Thank you so much to the 2022 Hazleton Area Football Cougars. They were a great group of guests that we had on this year. And thank you so much for allowing us to come on this ride that was the 2022 season. And as a reminder, stay tuned to WYLN programming for the special 1-hour edition of Sports Talk honoring the 2022 Hazleton area seniors. You've been watching Sports Talk here on WYLN, and as always, thank you to the fans, and it's been brought to you by the Lehigh Valley Health Network Hazleton.